Well, in just about 20 minutes, Karl Rove is set to appear at a book signing in Lafayette, California. His book tour got off to an interesting start in Beverly Hills Monday night. Activists from the left-wing anti-war group CODEPINK taking heckling to a whole new level. They crashed the event and even attempted a citizen's arrest. Here's just some of it.
Look what you did. You outed a CIA officer. You lied to take us to war. You ruined the country. Totally ruined the country.
The only comfort I take is that you're going to rot in hell.
You know what? If you want to keep interrupting me, you can get the heck out of here. Yeah. You can get the heck out of here.
Well, that woman who was in that pink hat, Jody Evans, is the co-founder of CODEPINK, and she's my guest now, live from Los Angeles. Jody, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. You know, when you see the whole response from those who were in the audience, they're upset. They showed up there because they wanted to hear him. Who are you to silence that?
Well, I also showed up there because I wanted to hear him. I paid the same amount of money they paid. The other 20 of us did also. We sat and listened for about an hour to his lies. A book that talked about courage and consequence. What courage does it take to lie the American people into a war that has been disastrous, that has cost us $1 trillion?
But who are you to silence his voice?
I did not silence his voice. I went up to do a citizen's arrest. I had a legal arrest complaint that empowers me as a citizen to arrest someone that breaks the law. I went up with my handcuffs. I tried to put them on, and I was dragged away. I did not disrupt the event.
You did not disrupt the event?
The event was almost over.
Jody, you
He's the one that left the event.
You stormed the stage. You got in his face. The security guards had to come out. On your website, you boast about fooling the security guards into leaving you alone. And the people at the event were outraged that they didn't get to hear the man they paid to see.
So I took advantage of the opportunity. I went there just as they did, and I, as a citizen, did what all citizens should do and hold those accountable that horribly violate the laws of America.
Did you really?
He violated laws of treason.
Did you
Were you going to tell me that I should be polite while someone had, you know, a woman sitting next to me, her nephew had died, hundreds of thousands of people have died?
Yeah, I don't dispute your right to protest. I really don't. That's one of the things that makes this country great. But what about doing it outside of the event? What about respecting the process and the other citizens who wanted to hear Mr. Rove, not to mention Mr. Rove himself, so that you could have your say and they could have theirs?
Because he doesn't make himself available. He doesn't even make himself available when he's subpoenaed. So he forces us to take the opportunity when we can. And I was polite for an hour. I let him speak to everyone. It was the end of the event. I actually was polite. Unlike Rove, who lied the American people into war. I mean, how do you feel as Fox News?
You feel like your group was polite.
Lies?
I mean, that woman who came after you got up there and said she was comforted that he was going to hell. I mean, praying for his death, interrupting his book signing. Listen, I understand you have a point to make.
That woman's nephew died.
But the question is the manner.
That woman's nephew died in this illegal war. She was crying.
The question is the manner. And let me tell you, Jody, let me get my question in and then I'll let you respond. Let me get my question in. It's not helpful if you just try to talk over me. Let me get my question in and then you can respond. Because even people who believe as you believe online today are talking about the ineffectiveness of your methods, saying what you actually did is you made Karl Rove look sympathetic and yourself and your group look rude.
Well, I'm sorry that they see it that way, because they should see Karl Rove as the criminal that he is, and that we're left with the only option is to make a citizen's arrest. And since he's not surrendering to the citizen's arrest, it will always look rude.
You know, you say on your website that, and this is a quote, without the rule of law, it's all darkness. And you believe in the rule of law, don't you?
That's what I'm fighting for.
And are you familiar with California's disorderly conduct statute?
Yes, but I also had an arrest complaint. I mean, he's the one that was resisting arrest, if you want to get technical.
No, I want to know whether you're familiar with the disturbing the peace statute, which makes it unlawful to willfully disturb another person by the loud and unreasonable methods that you chose.
Okay, if a police officer goes into an event where there is a criminal They disrupt that event, usually, to arrest that person.
The only person being disruptive was you. And you claim you respect the rule of law, Jody, but what I saw on that tape was not a law-abiding citizen.
Oh, yes, it was. And I wish every citizen would be so law-abiding. I took an arrest complaint that legally empowers me as a citizen to arrest someone who has broken the law. He's broken a law so egregious that hundreds of thousands of people have died.
You know,
so I did it just like a police officer would do it. Yes, it ends up looking very disruptive.
I think Karl Rove's been around a lot of police officers and has made it without any arrests thus far. Well, what I want to ask you, Jody, is I hear no tone of apology, which I guess is not that surprising. Do you plan, as you say on your website, to call for more of this? Do you plan to show up today at the Lafayette book signing or at other of his book signings?
I will not be there. I believe other Code Pink activists will be there, yes. We will continue until these criminals are held accountable. If Congress and law enforcement people won't do it, it's only up to the citizens to do it. We have to. We have to hold them accountable.
Have you ever been arrested, Jody?
$1 trillion of American money has been wasted.
Have you ever been arrested?
Gone. Oh, many times.
Yeah. Well, that could be happening again. Thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it, Jody.
Thank you.
Well,